So after having microdosed magic mushrooms for almost exactly 4 years now, I have decided to pause my psilocybin microdosing. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you exactly why and why do you care? Why would this affect you? I'm Dr. Dave. Welcome to Microdose U. So, as you know, if you've been following me for some time, I've been microdosing magic mushrooms for close to 4 years now. I started microdosing them because of some mental health issues I wanted to see if I can get rid of, namely depression, anxiety, mostly the anxiety, but there was definitely a depression component in there as well. And I will tell you, over the course of 4 years, they have basically changed my life in a way that I just never, ever would have imagined. So, why am I now pausing magic mushrooms? Why am I stopping? Why am I not going to be doing them anymore, at least for the foreseeable future? Well, it's not that I don't believe in psychedelics. I'm a very strong proponent, but I found something, at least for me, that I'm working with that could be better. And that is LSD. I've been microdosing LSD now for about 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere right in there, probably 6 weeks. And what I found as soon as I started microdosing LSD is that I feel it could be, at least for me, it could be better. And the reason is, it, I mean, there's so many reasons, but I'm finding that it lasts longer. I really only have to do one microdose per week. It stays with you, and there's something about it that I think could be a better level than microdosing psilocybin. So, before I go further, you're probably asking yourself some questions. Well, does that mean that you don't believe in magic mushrooms anymore? Does that mean that you're recommending LSD for all new people starting? I've got a bunch of questions. I'm going to answer all of them because no, I don't think anything should change. The LSD is still pretty new to me, and having 4 years of experience with magic mushrooms, I'm still a proponent of them, and I think somebody with mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, or more, you just want to change your life. You want to be more spiritual. You want to be more productive. You want to be more creative. I still think magic mushrooms are the perfect choice. But for me, I want to be fair and I want to kind of pause the mushrooms so I can clearly see if the LSD is indeed, at least for me, maybe better. But again, let's get back to some questions that you might have now because you're probably confused that Dr. Dave is pausing magic mushrooms, so that means they're not good. Well, hold on. Let's start from scratch. Here are some questions you're probably asking yourself. Number one, if I'm a beginner, if I'm just starting out, should I begin with microdosing magic mushrooms or should I begin with LSD? My answer is you should begin with magic mushrooms because, again, I have been teaching about magic mushrooms for 4 years now, close to 4 years. I've been microdosing for 4 years. I know they work. I'm positive they're good. We've gotten through our coaching program, we've gotten some incredible results. People that you don't understand and just wanted to get individualized guidance, and we've helped so many people. So I'm still a tremendous proponent as far as magic mushrooms go. So if you're thinking about starting, I still am recommending that's the way to start. Um, Again, they're life changing, and the things that have changed in my life. Again, I never would have dreamed that my life would have changed for the better so much, and I attribute magic mushrooms. So no, if you're starting out, I still absolutely recommend magic mushrooms. Now, what about somebody that's been microdosing? If you've been microdosing for a little while, should you switch over to LSD? And again, that's a personal preference, but not the answer is not necessarily. Again, I was doing it for 4 years. I'm not saying that I'm never going to come back to them. To be fair, I just want to only do one at a time because I'm doing several things at one time. You never know like what you're getting the results from actually. So I want to be fair and study this and then offer advice to you on that realm. But if you've been microdosing, should you switch? If you've been microdosing psilocybin, should you switch over? The answer is no, not necessarily. Continue your regimen, especially if you're getting results, especially if you're feeling better. Continue your regimen, and then in the future, when I have a little bit more information on this, I would say yes, it's possible we may want to switch you over and try the LSD microdosing. But there's some reasons why I wouldn't start out or switch necessarily right now, which I'll get into very shortly in this episode. There's some definite reasons why I wouldn't. But third question, will LSD help the same mental health issues as magic mushrooms? My feeling is yes. On my from my preliminary research, I have every reason to believe that they will help the same way, the same mental health issues, and also again other things like creativity, spirituality, understanding things that you probably perhaps didn't understand before. I think LSD would do the same, if not better. But I'm not ready to say everybody that's microdosing magic mushrooms now switch over. I'm not ready to say that yet. Again, still a tremendous proponent of magic mushrooms and keep going with that if that's working for you. Another question is LSD as safe as magic mushrooms? I mean, God, when I was back in high school, I was afraid of all psychedelics, especially LSD. I've probably told you the story about that guy in my class who ran into some really big issues with LSD, and these things just scared the heck out of me. Little did I know that, well, let's go back to psilocybin for a second. One of the safest plant substances, one of the safest medicines on this planet. I mean, if you want to compare this to anything like alcohol, tobacco, cocaine, all these medicines and plant medicines even that are, I think, dangerous, even THC, cannabis. Um, as far as magic mushrooms go, you can't overdose. Sure, you can go on a wild, crazy, scary trip, but you can't overdose. You won't die. They're not addictive. They're very, very safe. And that's why I still don't understand how you can walk into a liquor store and buy all the liquor you want and go drink like crazy and get sick and perhaps die, but magic mushrooms are still in many places not legal. I don't understand that. And for people that think that, oh, you know, all these people that are doing psilocybin and magic mushrooms, they're just drug addicts. They're looking for an excuse to do drugs. That is so far from the truth. I mean, I use it responsibly as an adult, and I use it I've got an intention, I've got reason to use it. I'm not taking psychedelics to go out and get high and get stoned no, I take it for a reason, and it truly has helped. But it is very, very safe. So again, none of this is medical advice, but research it yourself. You'll find that it's a very, very safe substance. You cannot overdose and you cannot get addicted. But one of the main reasons I'm not going to recommend that everybody that's following me every just switch over right away. And one of the is because number one, magic mushrooms are so much easier to source. Um, I don't talk about sourcing on the show. If you do join my Patreon channel, we will, let's say, wink, wink, we will share some things with you. I don't sell anything except I give information. That's all I do. But I don't sell drugs. I don't sell plant medicine, nothing like that whatsoever. However, on the Patreon channel over there, it helps support the show if you join, and we do share some things there, how to source them. However, LSD honestly is not quite as easy to source, and the dosage that you would take is so low that it's easier probably to make a mistake and take too much. And so that we're still working that out right now. But, in other words, we're talking about micrograms instead of milligrams or grams. We're talking micrograms. 10 micrograms, 10 to 20 micrograms is a microdose. But if by chance you make a mistake and you take more, you're going to go on a psychedelic trip. So that's why you need to be a little bit more careful, I think. But I'm working out a way. I've worked it out myself that again, it's pretty foolproof method to it's very, very easy. But again, um, if you're just starting out, this might be just a little bit advanced. So stick with magic mushrooms, and I think they'll be a lot easier. But another question is, how can I learn more about LSD? I know nothing. Again, I'm speaking for as a follower might be thinking to themselves, I know nothing about LSD. I'm a little bit afraid of it. I don't know where to get it. I don't know how to dose it. I don't even know how to microdose it. Well, again, it's this is kind of brand new for us, and we are working on this, and we are Dr. Denise Moret and I, she's the same one that we do the one-on-one coaching for magic mushrooms. We're working on an LSD course right now, beginner's LSD microdosing course. It's not ready yet, probably in a few weeks to a month or so, somewhere in that range. We're putting the final touches, but we want to make sure it's really good. It's going to be personalized, one-on-one, totally confidential. It is a paid course. And if you're interested in getting on the waiting list, there's no commitment whatsoever. But if you're interested in getting on the waiting list, and I know already there's going to be quite a bit of demand for this one. So if you're interested, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the show notes here to get on the waiting list. As I said, no commitment at all, but only do it if you're at least pretty serious. I just don't want to waste anybody's time. I'll be sending you email and more information about it as this develops. But only pretty much sign up for this if you think you're at least halfway serious about doing it. But we are going to be teaching quite a few people how to learn how to microdose LSD from scratch. Again, I want to make it very clear, not medical advice. I'm not recommending that anybody break the law. You need to be responsible for the law in your area. I'm not going to ask you where you live. I'm not going to ask you anything about that, but you need to be responsible. You're the one that needs to be responsible for that. Again, we don't sell anything, only information, only give information, and then you decide what you want to do, how to do it, where you want to do it, and you take it from there. But again, I've been getting such an incredible feeling that this is the way to go. That's why I am going in this direction, because I think that, I mean, if you ask me if I knew both of these when I first started, which one would I have started with? And that's a really tough question, given that psilocybin has totally changed my life for the better. I mean, it'd be hard for me to say where I am right now that I wouldn't again use psilocybin to change my life. But again, it's a little bit early with the LSD thing. But from what I'm seeing, it's really, really promising. So I'm extremely excited about this, and I feel great about it. So I'm glad you're with me. This podcast is really developing in directions that I never really thought it would. If you would have asked me 4 years ago, where are we going with this? I said I wouldn't know, and I never would have thought we would be going in the direction of microdosing LSD. But I'm a believer. It works. Dr. Denise, who is a doctor of psychology and plant medicine expert, she's really excited about this, and she's been experimenting on her own separately from me, because we want to make sure we really know about this before we give anybody else any information. So super exciting stuff, guys. I'm glad you're with me. Remember, brand new episode comes out every single Wednesday here. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are. I'm so appreciative that you're with me. I've got show notes in every episode, and also a website, microdoseu.com. It's microdose with the letter U tacked on the end of it. And a short time ago, I did an episode on a follower of ours right here who experienced two really, really rough mushroom trips. And if you haven't seen that yet, I'm pointing to it right here. And if you're on Spotify or Apple, it's going to be in the show notes. Thanks again for being here. Microdose U. I am Dr. Dave, and yes, I do love you. See you next time.